Now, good evening. Welcome to K24 this week. My name is Brian Amwai. This particular week, we have so much lined up for you, making analysis of the stories that were making headlines during the week, from the political front all the way to matters human rights. Let's begin with this one. Now, the search for greener pastures has led many young Kenyans leave the country for Russia. But this particular pursuit has led some of them to dangerous zones, especially the war front. Some have died, others are recuperating and nursing injuries, while others demand to be returned back home. The government has said it is engaging the Russian government to make sure that those who are taken by force from their country to actually be repatriated back.
I've taken this opportunity to record this video for you. As you can see that I'm wearing a Russian uniform.
It began as a whisper in rural villages and urban settlements. Young men living for lucrative security jobs in Russia, only to go silent. Today, that whisper has become a roar of national concern. As of February 2026, the Kenyan government estimates at least 200 Kenyans are caught in the meat grinder of the Donbas region. This is no longer just a story of migration. It is a story of predatory recruitment. These men, many former security guards or athletes, are being lured by shadow agencies, promising salaries of up to $2,000 a month. But upon arrival in Moscow, the reality is a contract written in Russian, a week of basic training, and a one-way ticket to the front lines.
And I know 12 Kenyans who are already dead. And if they are not dead, maybe they are injured.
Where we sit, we have so far facilitated about 27 Kenyans to come back home, away from the front line and away from what they thought were different jobs, but lured into battle.
The human cost is mounting. Ukrainian intelligence recently identified the bodies of 3 Kenyans near Lyman. They were reportedly deployed to high-risk assault units, often referred as cannon fodder, where survival rates are measured in hours, not days. So why Kenya? Recruiters are pivoting towards Africa as traditional sources of manpower in Central Asia dry up. For a young Kenyan facing a 13% unemployment rate, the Russian dream is a gamble fueled by desperation. Nairobi's response has been a delicate balancing act. While the government has shut down over 6,000 rogue recruitment agencies, it must remain on speaking terms with Moscow to bring its sons home.
Be taken to Russia, to Ukraine, to fight. People who are not even trained, they are not military personnel. Wanafika pale, wanapewa uniform. Na wewe hapa rais, huwezi comment. Wazazi wanashinda wakilia kila wakati, mtoto wajulikani yako hapo. The next thing we hear, mwili imepatikana. For how long do you want these parents to continue suffering? Ukiwadanganya ni kazi unawapatia majuu.
Lengo letu kwa mfano ni kuhakikisha kwamba
Kenya is pursuing a three-pronged strategy. One is repatriation. So far, 27 Kenyans have been successfully rescued and returned. Negotiation is the second strategy, with Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi slated for a high-stakes visit to Moscow to demand a formal ban on the conscription of Kenyan nationals. And the third strategy is de-radicalization, where returnees are being placed in psychological care to deal with the trauma of combat and de-radicalization from the mercenary networks.
we have seen lots of lives, and I am planning to make a visit to Moscow so that we can emphasize that this is something.
The tragedy in Ukraine has exposed a pipeline of deceit that preys on the African youth. Where the government has made progress securing a deal for the release of those held without consent, the question remains: how many more are still in trenches, hidden by the fog of war? Families at home are burying their loved ones. Their ask is that justice is served. Tears of sorrow continue to flow for those whose sons have paid the price of searching for a better tomorrow, which has been fueled by the massive unemployment rate. As the families cry for justice and bury their loved ones, those yet to return are hanging on hope that the diplomatic consultations will be kind to them.
Now, the state of human rights in the country has been a subject of conversation for the past few days, from Russia all the way here in Nairobi, where police have been accused of using excessive force when it comes to handling protesters. This particular week, we talked to Ojiro, who is a human rights activist, to talk to us in exactly where we are at as far as human rights violations are concerned. Thank you so much for making time. Let me start with this one. Where are we? How would you rate the state of human rights in the country right now?
We are in a devastating human rights situation because the people that are supposed to protect its citizens, the government has kept quiet, but also have been involved in grave human rights violations. If we talk about the case of Russian cases, we have established by fact and evidence that we have got over 500 young Kenyans that made their way to Russia in an illegal process. And out of these 500 young Kenyans, 213 individuals have reached to our organization, either through WhatsApp, direct call or message, claiming and requesting for urgent action in terms of legal protection. One, we have got 4 categories of cases that have come to us. This has happened since last year, October. All these young men that went to Russia were recruited by both Kenyan agents and Russian agents here in Kenya and abroad. And all of these agents are registered entities, and so it means that the government has what it takes to get down on them and ask them to account for the actions. Okay. Secondly is that all these young Kenyans went to Russia on a tourist visa. So how do you go for a work with a tourist visa? What is it that you can go to tour in a country that's at war with Ukraine? But thirdly also, that we have got many of these young Kenyans, more than 200, that cannot be accounted for. And on this one, we want to start by blaming the government from Alfred Mutua that led a national process of recruiting young Kenyans to go and work in Russia. And they were lied to that they were going to work as drivers and cleaners and working in hotels. But it turned out that all of them were not only recruited into the Russian military, but have been forced to go into the front line, into the red zone. Right. And victims and survivors have told us that you can rarely survive for more than 1 month in the Russian military because of 2 things. One, you are fighting against drones, you are fighting against the landmines, and also the direct attacks from those that have trained for many years, and our citizens that have gone to Russia have only been given maybe 1, 2 weeks or 3 weeks training. Okay. And also on the same question is that we have got many Kenyans that have died in the landmines, in the front line, and their bodies have been left to rot. That is very devastating.
That is what you've received from them?
Yeah, from the witnesses that were with them in the front line. But also, we have also Kenyans that have been captured by the Ukraine soldiers, and they are now detainees. And so the question is it possible for more than 500 Kenyans to go into the Russian military without the attention of the state security?
Let me get this one. The Cabinet Secretary for Foreign Affairs, that is Musalia Mudavadi, says he intends to travel to Russia to have a conversation. According to him, it is 200 people that the government can actually say, but these are the number of people that we've been able to establish. You are saying more than 500. The disconnect.
Facts must prove us wrong or right. And how do we get these facts right or wrong? The government must make it public. Make it public. How many Kenyans have gone to Russia by making public the Immigration Department records? But also the Foreign Affairs records must make it public. But having said that, he's making plans to go to Russia when this week alone, 18 Kenyans have sent WhatsApp messages to us asking that we were in the front line, we were hit by landmine, we were hit by the drone, we've been taken to the hospital, we are recovering, but we are being forced to go back to the front line, and we are urgently appealing to Kenyans and the government to evacuate us back to Kenya because we've been held up in a Russian military hospital. Him is planning to go after some days, maybe next month, but Kenyans are being pushed to die. Also, he's planning to go to Russia as agents are still recruiting Kenyans. Okay. So which one comes first? Okay. I think what comes first is this, that young men that have called to be returned back urgently because their life in gender must come first.
I want us to look at, in a minute, look at what is happening in the country. And this is in regards to the protest that we witnessed in Uruma, the excessive use of force that led to the death of one young woman. Talk to me about that. You've been on the front line. You've been on the ground. What exactly is happening on the ground as far as that is concerned?
As you're aware, we are a rapid response organization, and so we are always in the front line when incidents of human rights violations occur. From our records, we have got 26 cases of police brutality, police killings since January. This is in tandem with the report that that other entities have given out, like Human Rights Watch have also given the same report. What we are saying is that the number of police killings is alarming, and so Kenyans are crying for justice. As we speak now, we've had, in this week alone, 3 individuals that have been killed by police, and none of them have been arrested. What we've done as an organization is very simple. One, we have been able to secure witnesses and given these details and contacts to IPOA. Secondly, we've been able to support families to conduct postmortems. And so we have got a legal report in the name of a forensic investigative report, medical report, that then is able to show that exactly this kind of crime was committed. Now, the question is, communities and human rights organizations have helped in investigations. What is stopping the government, especially IPOA, from arresting these individuals? But lastly, why must we have a police service that takes away our lives? Okay. Why must we have a policing that do not engage, do not engage the people in policing that then respects human rights and rule of law?
The state of human rights in the country. Ojiro, thank you so much for your time and helping us analyze exactly where we are as far as human rights violations in the country are concerned. This week, the ODM party NEC ousted the Secretary General Edwin Sifuna. Sifuna has, however, maintained that he is still the Secretary General of the Orange Party.
Mheshimiwa Rais, mimi ndio Sifuna.
Edwin Sifuna is not a newcomer to political storms. A trained lawyer and seasoned political organizer, his rise has been deliberate, built through party structures rather than popularity alone.
Munaniona vizuri? Mimi ndio Sifuna.
From advisory roles in the reform coalitions of CORD and NASA, Sifuna steadily positioned himself as a legal mind within opposition politics. In 2018, he was appointed ODM Secretary General, one of the most powerful positions in the party's machinery.
We are taking a position that has been vacant.
His influence grew beyond party offices. In 2022, he captured the Nairobi Senate seat, cementing his national profile and becoming one of ODM's most vocal defenders in parliament.
Mr. Speaker.
Order, honorable senators.
Mr. Speaker,
let's hear the senator for Nairobi City Council.
But I know what I voted against on this floor. I know the amendments that I brought, and some of these hecklers here are the ones who voted for this law, and they are here telling us Shah is working.
Senator,
and people are dying in the states.
But that visibility will later become a source of friction. The trouble began with sharp ideological differences within ODM, particularly over how the party should relate with President William Ruto's administration.
Na baba alikuwa anatuambia kila siku, Sifuna, chunga maslahi ya mwananchi, kwa sababu hiyo ndio kazi yetu. Mimi siwezi kunyamaza kama Sifuna, wakati ambapo wazazi kwa saa hii wanang'ang'ana kupeleka watoto wao wa grade 10 kwa shule. Wanaambiwa uniform walipe mpaka sijui shilingi 20,000.
While sections of ODM leadership leaned towards engagement and cooperation, Sifuna maintained a hard opposition line, openly rejecting any political accommodation with the government.
Kufikia sasa hakuna kitu ambayo wamefanya kwa hiyo mkataba, na wengine wanatuambia tuandike mkataba ingine na UDA. Kama hawezi heshimu mkataba ambaye baba Raila Amolo Odinga mwenyewe amesaini, munafikiri ataheshimu ile Uhuru amesaini?
Those remarks and others like them did not sit well with the section of the party's top brass.
It is okay if other members of our party exercise democratic right to say what they like. But really it is not right for me as a party leader to go out and shout what was not agreed and what is my own personal view, and I go and say that it is my democratic right.
I don't think it is correct for anyone to say that Sifuna does not have a right to have a personal opinion. Raila Amolo Odinga told them himself that every person in ODM, irrespective of the position we hold, has a right to be able to speak their minds. So if anybody wants to contradict what Mzee said, that's upon them.
In February 2026, the ODM National Executive Committee moved to remove Sifuna as the Secretary General, citing indiscipline and conduct and becoming of a senior party official.
Having deliberated on matters relating to the conduct of the Secretary General, Senator Edwin Sifuna, the NEC resolved to remove him from office with immediate effect in accordance with the party constitution and applicable laws. Effectively, the Deputy Secretary General.
The decision came amid claims of internal consultations, but critics questioned the procedure, arguing it violated ODM's own constitution.
There is no single moment that Raila Odinga rebuked or criticized Edwin Sifuna in public in the discharge of his functions as Secretary General. I shudder to think that mere minions, people who have got no legitimacy in the entire country, can dare talk about Edwin Sifuna.
Sifuna did not go quietly.
I remain a loyal member and the duly elected Secretary General of the ODM party. I remain committed to the struggle.
Within hours, he rejected the decision, insisting he remained the duly elected Secretary General and accusing the party of executing what he termed as politically motivated purge.
We are the generation that will reach Canaan, as envisaged by the late Raila Amolo Odinga. Nothing will distract us from this endeavor.
He moved to the political party's disputes tribunal, securing temporary orders, halting the implementation of his removal, effectively freezing the party's decision. At the same time, Sifuna signaled a return to the grassroots, announcing plans to engage supporters directly, turning an internal party fight into a broader political statement.
And I want to assure you that we will be back to the grassroots, bigger and more energized, beginning this Sunday in Kitengela. Thank you very much.
This is not just about one man losing a title. Sifuna's ouster exposes a party struggling to redefine itself after the loss of its longtime leader, Raila Odinga, caught between generational change and old guard control. It also raises a bigger question. Can ODM maintain unity while accommodating divergent political strategies ahead of 2027? For Edwin Sifuna, this moment may define the next phase of his career, whether as a party insider fighting from within or a reformist voice challenging the establishment.
Nataka niseme hapa mbele yako baba, ya kwamba chama hiki ambacho umetuachia, mimi Sifuna sitakuwa baadhi ya wale ambao watachangia kuangusha chama cha Raila Amolo Odinga.
The battle lines within ODM are drawn and the turbulence is far from over.
For 9 months, a mother's body changes in ways she can never imagine. But with those changes comes fears, questions, and uncertainties on how she's going to navigate that particular journey. At Malaika Maternity Hospital, mothers are not left to walk this journey alone. Let's take a look at this particular story.
When carrying a pregnancy, every woman hopes to have a safe delivery. For many women, pregnancy is a journey filled with excitement and uncertainty. But with a good support system, that boat becomes easy to row.
The delivery, it's my first time to be a mom, so of course there's like a jittery that comes with hospitals and stuff, but I think I'm in safe hands.
Faith, she is counting days when she will have to put to bed, heavy with a bundle of joy. The first-time mom can't hide her excitement.
Still. That's one thing that every pregnant woman does.
For Faith, it was a journey into the unknown, her first time, her first pregnancy, and a moment that will change her life forever.
Having a set of professionals, people to work with you, has really made me somewhat comfortable. Even the fears that I don't have. I'm quite confident that despite of the challenges that come with pregnancy, they've been able to walk me through and make my journey somewhat easier.
As it would have been expected when she discovered she was pregnant, questions quickly followed. What should she eat? What signs should she worry about? And most importantly, was she doing everything right for her baby? As a first-time mother, Faith needed more than medical care. She needed reassurance, guidance, and a place that will walk with her from the very first trimester all the way to delivery.
Another myth or fear that I had as a first-time mom is, am I able to carry this baby to term? You know, will I just sleep the wrong time? That's it. She's dead or he's dead. But trying to debunk such myths and telling you these are the right positions you can, use, or tools like pregnancy pillows and stuff. Every fear that I had, they sort of have a solution to make it easier for me, and I love it.
So we bring all that together and give you information, as I told you, that's curated, evidence-based, for us to be able to work closely with you and try to allay these fears that will come up in your pregnancy. Okay. Yep.
At Malaika, pregnancy is not treated as a single hospital visit, but as a full journey. From early prenatal checkups, nutrition counseling, routine scans, to constant follow-ups, Faith's pregnancy was closely monitored at every stage. Doctors here say this kind of continuity of care is critical, especially for the first-time mothers.
But even as you go through the journey, remember pregnancy is 3 trimesters. When you say 3 trimesters, you're literally just dividing the pregnancy into 3 months. And each of these trimesters have their own concerns, all right? So sometimes a lady can have some things like, you're feeling pain, or, you're wondering, I'm pregnant and I'm bleeding. Is that supposed to be normal? Okay, I'm not feeling my baby. Is it supposed to be normal at a particular point in your trimester? All right. Is my baby growing well? Okay. Or if you have a certain condition and you're wondering, how will this be with my pregnancy? Maybe you've been diagnosed prior with things like high blood pressure. So we bring all that together and give you information, as I told you, that's curated, evidence-based, for us to be able to work closely with you and try to allay these fears that will.
For Faith, each visit brought more confidence. Every question was answered. Every concern is taken seriously. And every milestone, from hearing her baby's heartbeat to watching her belly grow, was shared with professionals who understood her fears. Malaika's approach goes beyond treatment. It's about building trust, empowering women with information, and ensuring no mother walks the journey alone.
100% you need community. It is very difficult to go through pregnancy, postpartum without that kind of support. It's very difficult. You may have people all around you, but sometimes if they're not, pregnant, they don't know what you're feeling in that time. So a lot of the time when you have other people who are going through the same thing with you, it helps you feel like, oh, I'm not alone, or it's soon going to pass. So if people can give you advice from, people who have gone through.
Health experts say close monitoring during pregnancy can make the difference between complications and safe delivery, allowing doctors to detect risks early, manage conditions promptly, and ensure both mother and baby remain healthy. For women like Faith, that support can be a life-changing experience.
When you say worst off, I'll put it quote unquote. Yeah, we don't go straight telling patients, yeah, you look like you've been having a bad time. No. What we try and do is the needs that you have, we address them. Okay. Yeah.
Everyone does. You go for your clinic when you first find out you're pregnant, and then the next time you see your doctor is maybe 6 weeks after. In those 6 weeks, you have questions. Am I really pregnant? I'm really feeling sick. What should I do? And so on and so forth. Or you don't really have a support system. Or you may have a support system, but not everyone is pregnant at the stage that you are. So with WhatsApp, you're with moms who are in the very same trimester as you, so you understand each other. You talk about your symptoms together. You talk about your highs and lows together, how you're feeling, what you're thinking. And then also you have a nurse midwife to support you in case you have any medical questions in between or any social questions. So there's that. It's very important. And then WhatsApp.
As Faith prepares to welcome her baby into the world, her journey is a reminder that pregnancy is not meant to be walked alone. With the right care, the right guidance, and close monitoring at every step, every mother, first time or not, can look forward to a safer and more confident journey into motherhood.
We want to make it affordable for as many moms as we can. At the moment, the point of affordability is just that the kind of premium care or the kind of premium experience that we are giving moms, want to make it more affordable.
Brian Amwai, K24.
Now, Ramadan preparations are underway in Mombasa County. Boniface Msangi with that particular story.
The holy month of Ramadan is here with us again. Muslim faithfuls are up and down preparing to welcome the holy month of Ramadan, some shopping for food and dates. The holy month of Ramadan involves daily fasting from dawn to sunset, so abstaining from immoral acts, praying, helping the needy and focusing on spiritual growth.
Tuwe na roho za kusaidiana, tuwasaidie wasiojiweza, iwe kama zamani. Kibakuli kikija kirudi patupu. Unamfikiria jirani yako, mwangalia asiyejiweza.
At Marikiti Market, Mombasa, traders are hoping for a booming business as they welcome the holy month of Ramadan, despite customers complaining on tough economic times.
Kila kitu imekuwa ghali. Tende tulikuwa tunanunua 1,800, sasa inafika 2,500. Kwa ni ya leo, hatujui tarehe moja itakuwa pesa ngapi. Uchumi, tungeomba serikali kama watatusaidia upande wa tende, watusaidie ushuru, watupunguzie.
Bei ndio kidogo iko juu, na twaomba wakulima na waletaji kutoka mashambani watukulie mwezi kama huu ni mwezi wa ibada. Kwa hivyo wasipandishe vitu kama hivi ili mwenye kufunga ashindwe kununua.
According to Mohammed Ali, the Marikiti Market chairman, during Ramadan period, the prices of commodities skyrockets, a move which has influenced Muslims to conduct early shopping.
Tusen katika mwezi mtukufu wa Ramadhani, biashara inanoga upande wa viazi. Viazi, upande wa viazi tamu, matango, mhogo, kitunguu saumu. Hizi ni vitu nazi. Hizi ni vitu ambavyo hususan vinakuwa katika mwezi mtukufu wa Ramadhani. Kulingana na Waislamu ni vitu ambavyo jioni wanafuturu ama wanafungulia nazo saumu.
This comes as Muslim clerics led by CIPK National Secretary General Sheikh Mohammed Khalifa called for police to beef up security against panga gangs and rowdy youth at the coast.
Idara ya usalama wahakikishe wameweka usalama kona zote za Mombasa na Kenya nzima, ili watu waweze kwenda kufanya ibada zao bila kusumbuliwa na wale vijambazi pamoja na wahalifu.
Mtu akifanya jambo la sunna katika mwezi wa Ramadhani huandikiwa ni kama aliyofanya faradhi katika nje ya mwezi wa Ramadhani, yale malipo yake na thawabu zake anazopewa. Na anayofanya jambo la faradhi, jambo la lazima katika mwezi wa Ramadhani, hulipa mfano wa faradhi 70 nje ya mwezi wa Ramadhani.
The clerics have also eyed the entire transport sector to avoid displaying music videos in PSV vehicles which might interfere with those observing the holy month of Ramadan.
Tungeomba wenye vyombo vya usafiri wa abiria wapunguze ama waondoshe kabisa ikiwezekana muziki hususan ile ambayo kwamba iko na video chafu ambazo kwamba zinaonyesha wachezaji wanaocheza uchi kwa sababu Waislamu katika mwezi wa Ramadhani wanajenga imani zao.
Hizi idara mbili, maji pamoja na KPLC, wahakikishe ya kwamba umeme unapatikana full time na maji yaweze kupatikana full time kwa sababu ibada za Ramadhani.
Boniface Msangi, K24, Mombasa.
Now to an act of kindness. Imagine feeling sick and not being able to afford medical services. Well, doctors have come out to say that they are going to be offering medical services for free for women in Mombasa.
It is all smiles for the 24 women in this hospital.
No pay and at no cost to the patients.
But we are taking these services next to the doorstep of the patient or the client who needs them.
Acts of kindness from doctor have seen them getting another shot at health.
Saidia ilikuwa ni problem kubwa, hata mimi mwenyewe sikuwa naona kama inaweza saidika. Nimekaa nilikuwa na dress kidonda asubuhi na jioni.
We need to stretch a hand beyond what we normally do on our daily days to see to it that we can also take an extra measure to give back to the community by offering selfless service to the communities that are less privileged, so that we can also give them an opportunity to have a similar quality of life. I think healthcare is a right.
Free surgery for women with serious gynecology cancer. The smiles evidence, happy that humanity still exists.
Kambo inge cost like 1.2, lakini unaona sasa hapa hivi ni nil kabisa. hakuna kitu nimelipa na hakuna kitu tumeitishwa. Hiyo sasa ndio ilinipea hope. Juu nilikuwa nashindwa 1.2, sasa utatoa wapi?
The surgeries conducted, the results promising, and the cost was almost nothing.
Ama si sawa. Nawashukuru wote na walionifanyia kila kitu. Nawashukuru.
Now we have come to the end of our show this week. Thank you so much for making time, but I'm leaving you with this one. This is the photo of the week, an act of kindness. My name is Brian Amwai. Let's do this again when God says we do.